Hey everybody, welcome into the Beehive. I'm your host, the Bee at LLC. This is where we stack precious metals like it's pollen and nectar. Our pollen is silver and our nectar is gold. Preserving our wealth is honey of old. And like ancient metals, we hold our own. Today I want to finish packing up these Os76 Alpha through Omega Load pieces. Signature product here for the moment. And I just thought I'd come out here and say happy holidays while I finish packing these up. There's Mr. JCP, Jake's Custom Parts. How you doing, bud? Neil's Han Dynasty, welcome in. Think Differently 3000. Hope you all had a good holiday so far. Merry Christmas and soon to be Happy New Year. So, yeah. And we've got a Delta there. Okay. What did I just do with the rest of that product that I just had in my hand? That's interesting. Now let's start with this. Gatito, so good to see you. Happy holidays. That makes more sense. All right, let's get this loaded up here. Got our poker chip up here on top, sealing everything in. And we got this corked vial with a hole in it. And then we have another poker chip with a centered shaft glued into place. That will hold our new silver and osmium product. And once we have the revolver cylinder centered on the shaft, we can lower it down into the airtight vial. And of course, as this one, this is how it would be displayed on your shelf if you preferred to display it in the vial, just like this one is here. But I'm getting ready to package these up and send them out, so we take this styrofoam piece, which has a hole centered in it, and we put that down the rod down onto the bullet heads, and that will hold them in place during shipping. Then we take our cork for the lid. Push that down onto the vial, therefore air sealing this product in there. And then we cap it off with a poker chip or channel round. And then we put in a bit of wire to hold that all in place. Actually, though, I gotta wrap that with some cellophane around the edge, I guess. Cat73, good to see you. Happy holidays. Hope you had a good Christmas and are having a good time working our way towards the new year. Of course, everybody, I'm sure, has witnessed the silver price. And for those that haven't, I'll pop it up here on the screen just right quick for anyone that hasn't seen yet. The silver price has I was making a call for a $5 move in one day, and we have surpassed that today. 79.36 with a high of 79.71, and that was a $5 move on the day. So yeah, quite the move in silver. And let's take a look at everything else. Gold. What did gold do today? It moved up as well, $31 on the day to $4,535. And last but not least, we'll look at the platinum chart that's been moving quite well. And we'll look at palladium too. It's actually moving pretty well as well. Another $129 day in platinum, another $100 plus day in platinum. And then palladium, palladium had a big move today. We got $172 up in palladium. Woo! Big moves in the metals today. So, yeah, something to shake your head at if you're watching. And this is something that we were kind of expecting here, not wanting, but expecting, and that's why we need to prepare ourselves for such moves, because they're going to be taking place. And it's not that we want it to happen like everybody says, oh, don't, careful what you wish for. Well, I'm not wishing for it, but when you know it's going to happen, you want to be prepared for it. So that's kind of the issue at hand. There we go. Nicely sealed. Nice and tight. Ready to be shipped out to its new owner. So I just put out a video on these in 3D. Woodworks asked me if I knew the gauge on this wire, which I do not know the gauge of the wire yet. However, we are looking into getting some pure silver wire, therefore completing this pure precious metals product. So that will be cool. Acid Beck H1 by Y. Welcome in. Nice to see you. Don't think I've seen you in here, but good to have you here. And a good morning to you wherever you are hailing from, that it's morning. Welcome in. And yeah, so we got this piece sealed up. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and seal this with some shrink wrap to keep everything in place during shipping. And I should label that somehow so I don't. How do I want to do that? I guess I can just marker it on the outside. Couple good shrinks on it. Alright, there's one ready to go. Next up, Delta. There's 3D. Yeah, just talking about you. Yeah, we need to get some pure silver wire. I'm not sure the gauge on that. It's pretty small, but if we can get some pure silver wire for that, I would greatly appreciate that, and I will send the rest, or the next ones out the door will have the pure silver wire, and I will send the silver wire to those that are already shipped and already have their product in hand. So yeah, that would be awesome if we could get that covered. I know they have silver solder, but I don't know about 4-9's fine silver wire. So if that's something you know of how to get, then yeah, I'd love to know about it. Let me know. Okay, up next we're going to take care of Delta. Oops. Oh yeah, you can make some yourself. That'd be awesome. I was wondering about that. I was thinking about trying to hammer out one of my little silver grands, but I didn't know how tough that would be. And I'm running low on time on these. I gotta get them out, so I'm gonna ship these as is. But yeah, for future reference, I'd love to have some pure silver wire. That would be really cool. Complete the pure precious metals product that we have here. I make it, pour ingots, and then roll it into a mill and pull it through a wire maker. Awesome! That's too cool. I'd love to see that process as it happens. have our D for Delta. Okay. Well, before we do that, let's finish up with the styrofoam. This little piece gets thrown on, holds the bullets in place, and then we wrap it with some more styrofoam wrap. 1, 2, 3, I believe. No, I gotta do that a little bit better. I had it, and then I lost it. Of course, this is always twice as hard to do whilst live, but I thought I would come out and say happy holidays to everybody. Hey, Kevin Hawthorne, welcome in. Happy holidays. Hope you had a good Christmas. Soon to be New Year's. Thanks for stopping by. I could even do better than that. That should work. Yeah, you're very welcome. Yeah, actually, I don't have the platinum bell combi, but I do have this silver bell combi. I have a couple of them, actually. I used to give these away on my auctions. Now I've come up with a little bit different deal, but yeah, those are nice. They're fun to break apart as well. All right. right. There is delta. And last but not least, we will get beta sealed up and taken care of here. Beta. Do a beta. Nickel pop in? Where did Nickel go to? Did I miss him? Oh, hey, Nickel. Sorry I missed you. How you doing? Good to see you. Speaking of nickel, I did put in another order for nickel and also have some 4/9 copper coming with it. So stay tuned for that if you'd like to get yourself some 3/9 fine 3/9 5 plus purity nickel. If you're interested in that, that will be coming soon. Stay tuned. There we go. Worked well. Alright. Word up 3D. Alright, there we go with beta. I'm running out of shrink, hopefully enough to do this last piece. Beautiful. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta. Out the door, I got epsilon and zeta yet to put together and get out. But this is a good start. And a beautiful, pure, precious metals product. All right. And of course, this is the demonstration piece, but this is how it should look in its finished product if you should decide to keep it in the air sealed vial. The only reason to do that is keep the vacuum seal or the air seal for the silver, or keep dust off of your product. Otherwise, you can just take it out and put it on the shelf if you'd like. But in the case that you would like to have something that you can keep it sealed and yet have a good visual on it, this is our final product. Yeah, platinum is really moving finally, isn't it? And palladium really had a good day today. I just was checking on it. Man, it's really moving. So they're all finally moving. Once they start moving like this, it's going to be hard to hide any of the metals. And now that it's moving like this and has been added to the critical minerals here in the U.S., along with many other countries starting to pay attention to it, I have a feeling that it will bring the magnifying glass down on the rest of the metals. So I think they're probably all going to keep moving. And yeah, all the metals will be looked at closely probably from here out. Even if we get a good pullback in, say, silver or something like that, which I'm not expecting. It's had such a big move at this point that it's going to bring attention to the metals world, and we can expect to see things keep moving from here, I would say, and again uncover some of these unknown metals that have been hidden from the manipulation of your platinums, your golds, your silvers. And now that they're on a tear, I think the rock will be lifted and people will be looking underneath it for what else is there. So I think she's finally making the moves we were waiting for. Yeah, so I need to send one of these out to the owner of Alpha. This will be, and then so I just packaged up beta, gamma, and delta, and after I had just put out a video on packaging these up, 3D Woodworks commented on that video saying, is the wire, because I put a little wire through the top here to hold everything down, and he asked if that was 4/9 silver, and I said no, not yet. Or he asked if it was silver yet, and so I think he's gonna work on hammering me out some thin gauged pure silver wire. So I'll have to get this whole vial set up, sent out to the owner of Alpha, along with, and then I'll send wire, pure silver wire, to the owners of these, and then from here on out I will try to use pure silver wire, and that will complete the pure precious metals product as it is. So and yeah, the idea here is we are, let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah, so the idea here is we have this vial which has one of my channel round poker chips on the bottom, and glued into the center of it is this shaft, and then the cylinder rides the shaft, keeping it from the edges of the vial, and then we put this cork down onto the vial, thus air sealing this product in, and we put another poker chip on top of that with the wire going through the shaft, holding it all together. And then for shipping, I just put a piece of styrofoam in between that holds the bullets in during shipping, and wrap the edges with a soft wrap, whatever this is, to keep it nice and compact for the shipping process. And then you can just remove all the styrofoam and put it back in this vial and display it in the vial itself, or you can remove it from the vial and just put it on the shelf if you'd like by itself. However, this will keep the dust off of it, and if you're wanting to keep the silver from toning, then you can just leave it in this air sealed vial and put it on the shelf and still get a good visual of it. So just gives you a few more options and a good shipping container for it as well, no matter which way you decide to go with it. So makes for a fun Pure Metals product. Oh, you had some 14 karat gold? Nice. But of course, me over here, if you look up at the top of my screen, I'm a Pure Metals movement guy, and so I'm no longer dealing, if I can help it, in the non-pure metals. So I like to keep it pure, and that's what we have here. Especially when we get our 4/9 pure silver wire put into place, it will be a pure precious metals product. Yeah, exactly, Space Miner. That's the idea behind it anyway. So, all right, well, that's what I came out here to do on the live. I noticed we got some other lives going. I don't want to take away from them. I know Dub C usually does a live here on Friday night. That's always a good watch. If you don't know Dub C Precious Metals, check him out. And I seen Tiger was on also. So with that, I think I will wrap it up. We're going to be back tomorrow night with a spin and bin. I am keeping the silver round buy it now price at 80, even though according to the chart we should be at 83. So if you check my posts, in fact, I'm gonna show you guys my posts. I think this is kind of cool. So let me pull that up. Screen. So yeah, if we scroll down on my posts here, we've got $50 on the buy it now special board for the silver rounds. That is on 10/4. And then scroll up on 11/29, it went from 50 to 60. And then from 11/29 to 12/20, we went from 60 to 70 on the buy it now board. And then from 12/20 to 12/27, in 1 week, we went to 80. In fact, we bypassed 80. Like I said, I just wanted to keep the board tally in tens, just because it's pretty sweet to be able to scroll through these. So from 50 to 60 to 70 to 80 in a pretty short amount of time. So I decided to leave the special for tomorrow night at 80. That is a $3 off sale on the silver rounds. And I don't know, for those who have been watching my live streams with Ian, we've been talking about experiencing what we've experienced these last few weeks. And that is that silver could very well be held down at these low values until they release the manipulation, and then it could gap up quite quickly, thereby locking people out. And that seems to be taking place. This is what I was worried about, going from the 20s to 80 in just a few weeks, and thereby locking a lot of people out, because they're going to look at those numbers and it's going to scare them out. They're going to wait for a big pullback that may not come, and that's going to keep people out until it becomes unobtainium. Unaffordium or unobtainium, coined by Mike Maloney, and I think that could be what we're experiencing here. I think jumping up to this $80 point was kind of what I was worried about, that gap up, that jump in a short amount of time, which is going to psychologically, try to keep people out of it. And sadly, if that works, it's going to lock people out from here on up, because they're going to be waiting for a big pullback. But I have a feeling that it could just continue to carry from here. Definitely pass through the triple digits. If you look at the inflation adjusted silver price to the 1980, especially if you go by like shadow stats, you're talking 200, 250 plus just to be back to the 1980 high with inflation adjusted prices. So we still have quite a ways to go from here. So I wouldn't be too terrified to, if you don't have anything, start stepping in slowly. I wouldn't jump in with both feet at this point. But I wouldn't not buy either, because, again, keep in mind that a lot of this is stemming from the dollar devaluation, not just a run in the metals price. So I would continue in it. I'm going to continue buying slowly but surely. Of course, I've been preparing for this time for a while, so I already have a little bit of metal in the stack. Of course, I, like probably everybody, wishes they had more, because, if this is the devaluing of the fiat, that can get pretty extreme. So, having a big enough base where you're just secure is, could be tougher than you think. So, I'm gonna continue trying to get in when I have anything extra. I am quite happy about the repricing in the gold to silver ratio. That's another thing that we should look at. But it went from, I believe if you look within the month, it's down in the 50s. But if you look at the year gold to silver ratio, it's down to like 60 on the dot. And so silver has been on a tear lately. It's been way outperforming gold. And even though gold is doing great, and silver is really gaining hard on gold, I think that gap will continue to close for a while. I'm not going to start trading in to gold yet. I'll probably wait more until the 40-30 area, then start walking into it, start trading into it a little bit. That's just my own personal outlook on things. But I think silver is still the place to be. Of course, if you have plenty of silver, platinum is another great possibility for gaining value on things such as gold. Of course, if you have large sums of money and you're looking for safety, gold is always a good bet. It depends on where you're at, what you're looking for, what your what your ideas are, goals are. So I'm going to keep in silver for a little bit further here, even though it's performing so well, and drop the ratio from 105 down to 60 or even lower at this point. So yeah. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging with me. I think I'm going to wrap this one up. Whoa, without power for 5 days, Cat73 says. That's quite a power outage. I hope you were prepared for that in some way and it didn't affect you too harshly. All right, guys, I will, again, I'll be back tomorrow night with the spinning bin and $3 sale on the silver rounds. I'm leaving them at 80, even though they would normally be at 83. So I kept my premiums pretty low on these rounds, guys. So when I was first putting them up, I had a $2 premium. And then once we broke through 50, I moved to $3. Now that we're past 75, I'm moving to $4. And when we get through 100, I'm going to $5. So, but those are still pretty good premiums as per anywhere else. So tomorrow night is especially low. It's only like, it's not even $1 premium there. So, all right, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Thanks, everybody.